Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq received a cable of thanks from the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, in reply to His Majesty's cable of condolences on the death of Her Royal Highness Princess Noura bint Faisal bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Based on the directives of His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq to establish the economic zone in the Niyaba of Al Rawda in the Wilaya of Mahadha in the Governorate of Brahmi, a number of their excellencies paid a visit to the proposed location to establish the zone and got acquainted with the potentials enjoyed by the Niyaba. The Shura Council held its 9th session of the 3rd annual session of the Councils of 9th term. During the session, His Excellency Engineer Saeed bin Hamoud Al-Ma'wali, Minister of Transport, Communications and Information Technology, confirmed that work is underway to offer new ports and roads for investment in the various governorates of the Sultanate of Oman. His Excellency clarified that work is underway to activate commercial activities in Sultan Qaboos port and to contract with investors to establish Manji port for the export of mining minerals and materials, and the multi-purpose Shuwayya Mia port in the development of Qasab and Shinas ports, Shana port, and the establishment of a seaport in the Wilaya of Sur. He noted that there are a number of roads directed to foreign investment, including the truck route from Salalah to Thamreit and the duality of Thamreit Al-Mazyuna Road, Al-Amrat Al-Tayin Road, Al-Jabal Al-Akhdar Road from south of Al-Batna and Masira Bridge. The session was chaired by His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal Al-Ma'wali, Chairman of the Shura Council. The Ministry of Health, represented by the Department of Organ Transplantation at the Royal Hospital, launched the application Your Giving is Life with the aim of spreading awareness to the culture of organ transplantation. The application is the first of its kind and supports the strategic direction of the priority of health by providing technical tools that contribute to health care. The inauguration was held under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Saidi, Minister of Health. The Ministry of Labour organized an introductory seminar for the private sector HR managers on Omani labour law. More details in the following report.
In continuation of the constant cooperation between the Ministry of Labour and the private sector establishments to create effective partnership, particularly regarding the national workforce in the sector, the Ministry of Labour organized an introductory seminar on the labour law for about 100 human resources managers of the private sector establishments, as well as a number of students of the College of Law from Sultan Qaboos University.
This workshop is to train HR managers on the labor law and all the other details that is required at this point of time to enhance their ability to operate within the regulations of the labor law in Oman.
The seminar included a presentation of a success story in the private sector, the legal regulation of the employment contract, occupational safety and health, and building a system of competencies and prosperity within the human resources were also discussed at the event.
What is my advice to people who's working in private sector or in another sector, that they should work and learn, invest in learning every day, and then take the challenges to work in different organization, because when you move from one organization to another organization, you feel that you participate more in Oman economy.
The introductory seminar on labor law stems from the need to spread awareness about labor regulations and legislation, and to clarify the relationship between human resources departments in the private sector and the workforce. Among the endeavors of the seminar is to foster a culture of stability and sustainability in the work environment. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
6 people died while several others were rescued following a rock collapse at a work site in Al Arid area in the Wilaya of Ibri. The Civil Defense and Ambulance Authority said that the search for missing people under the debris is still as a continuous rock slide hampering and the operations. 4 people have been treated in moderate to critical conditions. On the advent of the blessed month of Ramadan for the year 1443 Hijrah, the Ministry of Labour decided that the official working hours of employees in units of the state of administrative apparatus and other legal persons will be from 9 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. It was also decided to reduce the working hours of Muslim workers in private sectors establishments to 6 hours per day at a rate of 30 hours per week. Still to come in our news bulletin. Over 1,400 shooters compete in the shooting competition in the Wilaya of Nakhal.
إننا نقف اليوم بإرادة صلبة وعزيمة لا تلين على إعتاب مرحلة مهمة من مراحل التنمية والبناء في عمان، مرحلة شاركتم في رسم تطلعاتها في الرؤية المستقبلية عمان 2040.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. And now for the international world, a leading European Union diplomat held talks in Tehran today. Iran's state-run media reported amid hopes that an agreement to restore Iran's tattered nuclear deal with world powers could be completed. The meetings between the EU's envoy Enrique Mora and the top Iranian officials come at a sensitive moment for the talks to revive the deal as the glimmers of a resolution to some of the thorniest issues in the negotiation have emerged. Iran's top nuclear negotiator Ali Bagheri Khan said that the Iran believed a deal was within reach if America was realistic in its demands. Former President Donald Trump abandoned the nuclear deal in 2018 and reimposed crushing sanctions. Iran's gradually breached the agreement with a massive expansion of its nuclear work. Nuclear talks broke off earlier this month. Last-minute wrangles in Vienna coincided with Russia's invasion of Ukraine and financial sanctions imposed by the West on Moscow. A chemical smell still lingered in the air early today as firefighters in Lviv spread water on the burned section of an in-oil facility hit in the Russian attack. The facility was targeted by the Russian rockets yesterday, destroying 2 oil tanks, and the fire was contained early today. Security guard at the site say that 3 rockets struck and destroyed 2 oil tanks, but no one was hurt. The airstrike shook Lviv, and that became, even for the estimated 200,000 people who have had to flee their hometowns. Lviv, located near Poland, had been largely spared since the invasion began, although missile strikes on aircraft repair facility near the main airport a week ago. A memorial ceremony was held at the crash site of China Eastern plane today as local officials and search and rescue teams held a moment of silence to mourn the victims. Chinese authorities confirmed there were no survivors in the crash of the China Eastern 737-800 in southern China on Monday, with 132 people on board. The flight from the city of Kunming in southwestern China was flying at 29,000 feet on Monday when it suddenly nosedived into a mountainous area shortly before it would have started its descent to the airport in Guangzhou. This morning, the second black box, the flight data recorder, was found. Researchers found the cockpit voice recorder 4 days ago. The two recorders should help investigators determine the cause of the plane crash. An air traffic controller tried to contact the pilot several times after seeing the plane's altitude drop sharply, but got no reply. With the participation of over 1,400 male and female shooters from various governorates of the Sultanate of Oman, the activities of shooting competition were concluded in the Wilaya of Nakhal in the Governorate of South Batna. The three-day competition also included a heritage village that showcased the cultural heritage of the Sultanate. The closing ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Salim bin Mohammed Al Mahrouki, Minister of Heritage and Tourism. More details with Saif bin Khalfan Al Kindi.
The contest was attended by over 1,400 participants and teams split it into 5 categories. Individuals competition on a fixed target using heavy weapon, team competition for clear target shooting using heavy weapon, individuals competition on a fixed target using light weapons, team competition for clear target shooting using light weapons, and individuals competition for senior and a fixed target using light weapons.
I would like to say at the beginning, Nakhal shooting range, one of the best shooting range here in Oman, and it is fully equipped with the elements that help shooters to just give the best of them actually. And the people who is in the audience today, who comes here, they just see exactly how good they are in shooting and how they are professional as well. The criteria of in this shooting champion here, we have around 3 types of shooting. The first is for the target shooting, and the second is for the blade downing, and they are doing good on that. So in the first, they are doing for the shooting, it's 10 circles, and each target have 1 shot, and they have good actually score. They did a good score as well.
The contest's sharpest shooters have been awarded valuable prizes as announced at the closing event, including brand new cars going to first place winners in the 5 different categories.
It is the field, how it is flat. It includes the the .22 and it includes the heavy weapons. So it includes all the games, also in precision game, also in speed game. Yeah. So it is, and also it is there is a very good follow up from the committee for Nakhal here.
The event also included the inauguration of the traditional village exhibiting cultural artifacts and food, as well as impressive traditional artistic performance by locals. Well, many participants from the Omani governorates came out with the competitive performance during the shooting championship in Nakhal. that extremely reflects the great progress achieved in this local sport. Saif Al-Kindi for English News, Nakhal.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources launched an expanded campaign to combat red palm weevil in the wilaya of the Governorate of Tahira. The campaign will last for 5 days, during which participants will survey and deal with the affected palm trees in 47 villages in the wilaya of Ibri, Yankol and Dhank. The bodies concerned continue to exert great efforts to combat red palm weevil insects and prevent them from spreading into the crops, as well as removing the palm trees affected by these bugs. The Ministry of Social Development signed a usufruct agreement for one of its residential and commercial lands with an area of 33,249 square meters with Al-Maha Petroleum Products Marketing Company. The agreement is for the establishment of gas station with shops with a special corner for displaying and marketing the products of persons with disabilities. The ministry indicated that it is currently working on a comprehensive survey of all its lands and real estate properties in order to economically invest them for the benefit of the groups served by the ministry. These lands and properties will be offered for investment during the next stage. With the aim of creating 3D maps of quarrying and mining sites in the Sultanate of Oman, the Public Authority for Special Economic Zones and Free Zones in Duqm is carrying out a series of experiments in air and sea surveying using drones with an area of 18 square kilometers allocated by the authority for artificial intelligence purposes. The authority, in cooperation with Marmul Integrated Company, achieved positive results that will help in taking informed decisions to enhance the productivity and planning on quarrying and mining sites. These experiments will also contribute to gathering sufficient knowledge about the safety aspects and the inventory management of these sites, as well empowering entrepreneurs and providing the opportunity for Omani youth to develop their skills and capabilities in this field. A new educational achievement by Modern College of Business and Sciences was held, where the 28th graduation ceremony was held under the patronage of His Excellency Dr. Adnan Al-Azri, Chairman of the Commission of the Limits of the Continental Shelf in the United Nations. More details in the following report.
Amazing moments of recognition for students' achievements of academic degrees from Modern College of Business and Science took place in 3 different days, celebrating the 20th graduation of total 1,352 students for class 2019, 2020 and 2021. The final day, held under the auspices of His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Adnan Al-Azri, Chair of the Commission on the Limits of the Continental Shelf in the United Nations, in the presence of the Founder and Executive Chair of MCBAs and respected members of the Board of Governors, senior members of the community, students, parents and administrative staff. This joyful graduation ceremony included a number of speeches. From the Dean, Dr. Musa Al-Kindi gave a college address, and Dr. Munir Al-Maskari, Executive Chair of MCBAs, announced the conferring of the degrees for all levels and for different study disciplines. In master's degrees, 578 received their certificate, and in bachelor degrees, 679 received their certificate, and associated degree, 95 of them received their certificates. His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Adnan Al-Azri, chief guest, gave an inspiring speech, narrated his educational journey that he went through and managed to accomplish top-level positions in spite of challenges that he faced.
I am happy that I have finally graduated after this whole pandemic started, and I'd like to give a message to everyone that no matter what happens, believe in yourself, and I hope that you'll be happy with who you've become.
All graduates have expressed their joy and said this graduation is memorable to them.
Assalamu alaikum. I would like to extend my gratitude to MCBS, faculty, teachers, administration, and my parents, family, and all the people who supported us in achieving our goal today. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
I'm very happy today. I completed my studies at MCBS and I am ready to give services to my country.
It's worth mentioning that MCBS is affiliated with the University of Missouri St. Louis, a partnership that has endured for more than a quarter of century, ensuring MCBS graduates attain a world-class education supervised by top international institutions. Oman Vision 2040 calls for a society of creative individuals proud of their identity, innovative, globally competitive, leading a decent life and enjoying sustained well-being. The MCBS graduate here will accomplish this ambitious vision under the wise leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq. May Allah protect him.
This is the South and the Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. A number of their excellencies pay a visit to the proposed location of the economic zone in the Niyaba of Al Rawda in the Wilaya of Mahada. His Excellency the Minister of Transport, Communications and Information Technology affirms before the Shura Council that the new ports and roads are offered for investment. And 6 people are killed and several injured due to a rock collapse at a work site in the Wilaya of Ibri. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night and stay safe.